Hi there, this is Hugh. Welcome back to my channel, QLC Media. This is part 3 of why I left ACN. So, I told you in the previous videos about the ranking structure. I told you about the fact that I didn't make much money. I told you about the fact that I spent like £150 for a phone bill, and it was, I had like 2 SIMs that I was paying for. It should have been about 30 something, 40 something pound, but I missed a month because I had no money. And then because of late fees and calls that I was still making, but I had no money, long story short, I had to pay £150. I'm thinking, bruh, it's hard to pay the bills. I have to pay this nonsense. That was one of the last straws. The other last straw that broke the camel's back was in June 2020. I'm on shift at work. I get a text from some uplines, including my personal sponsor. They're telling me to go to another part of London to meet with the senior vice president, well, one of them, and a few other senior vice presidents or regional vice presidents. And I was meant to go there, but they tell me this like 2 hours in advance on the day that it's supposed to happen, because it was an impromptu meeting, emergency meeting, everyone to just drop whatever the F they're doing and just go all the way to frickin', I don't even know where the hell it was, another part of London to meet these famous leaders. I was at work. I wasn't gonna go and ditch my work. So I finished work. I saw the messages only after I finished my shift. Long story short, these leaders, 2 senior vice presidents and 1 regional vice president, so basically top ranking individuals in the company that have already made hundreds of thousands, if not millions, in the company over the span of 6, 7, or 8 years, depending on who it was. They're going to tell us, people in their downlines, respective downlines, that they're leaving ACN. Now, these guys have made multi-millions in the business altogether. These people have tens of thousands of representatives, distributors in their business from all around the world, 20 plus countries. These guys are acclaimed, documented in magazines. These guys are edified by everybody in the company, including the co-founders of the company themselves. And they're talking about how they're leaving the business. Me, I can't even pay my bills. I'm broke. I can't even pay for groceries. I'm struggling working in my little minimum wage job. And these fools, who have made millions and have hundreds of thousands of people adoring them, they go tell the world that they're quitting the business because they don't think that it's the right company for them, because they don't think that the company cares about paying their people well. They think that this ACN company, it just wants to stay as an $800 million company. They don't want to grow. They don't want to change the compensation plan so that people can be compensated better. They decide to come to this conclusion after years of being in the company. One of them was in the business for about 8 years. One of them was in the business for about 7 years. One of them was in the business for about 6 years. And after all that time, now they've decided, oh, it's morally wrong to stay in such a company. Big what? Bullshit. Absolute bullshit. And then after leaving, after making it official with some Zoom calls that they had with their groups, their teams, their downlines, then 5 minutes later, they go talk about how they're going to how they're going to build and create a brand new multi-level company with a better compensation plan, more products, more services, different countries to launch in, or they're going to launch in India, Pakistan. ACN was never going to do that, blah, 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 blah. Good luck to them. This company is called Nexarise. Now, that's the name of the company. It's a legal separate entity, so I can mention the name of the company. They can't do shit. But I'm not going to name the names of the people that are running it. I could. But for fun, I'm going to give them code names. My senior vice president, when I was in ACN, I'll call him Mr. Taprooting. Someone in his team who is also a senior vice president, I'll call him Mr. Momentum. And then another guy who was an RVP in a separate team, I don't care, He was a regional vice president. I will call him Mr. Alphabet. Because he was a guy that liked to rhyme and use alliteration when training people. That's why I'm calling him Mr. Alphabet. I'm not taking the piss out of somebody. Now, what's interesting is Mr. Alphabet, Mr. Momentum, and Mr. Taprootin, they were in ACN, they were regional vice presidents and senior vice presidents, and they had made a lot of money. I was struggling to keep this business afloat, to keep my life afloat, and I found it very interesting that these guys will talk about leaving ACN and sacrificing, because they had to shut down their business. Well, not shut down their business, they had to cancel their licenses, so they could no longer profit from the ACN business that they built. They can't create a new company and still make money from the old business. So they had to cancel their license and cancel their rights to profit from the businesses that they had already created by recruiting tens of thousands of people each. So that's a lot of money. And they're going to take their savings and they're going to build a new business called Nexarise. Now, the reason why I'm mentioning all of this is I felt personally jaded by these people. But then what was interesting was not the fact that these people left. It wasn't the fact that they were making a new company. It was the fact that every single time that myself or somebody else in the company was struggling to make any money in the business, there'd always be an excuse. There'd always be a fallback. There'd always be a reason as to why it's somehow our fault that the business model was not working the way we wanted it to work. Uplines would say to us, well, it's your mindset. You're not working hard enough. You don't believe 100%. You're not doing the best you can, blah, 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 blah. They'll talk about how you just haven't met the right people. They'll talk about how, oh, the people that don't think that MLM is a good business, they're rotten apples, they're brown apples. They would categorize people that we were trying to recruit. Red apples would be people that are very eager to get started in the business. Green apples will be people that would want to join but have some questions. And brown apples will be people that, sometimes they're called rotten apples. They're people that are negative about the industry because of obvious reasons. So, yeah, I'm a rotten apple now, for instance. They will talk about how if you're trying to recruit somebody into the business and they'll say no, and they'll say it's a pyramid, they'll say it's a scam, how that person that you're trying to recruit that's telling you no is somehow a rotten apple, somehow very negative. It's not your fault. It's not the company's fault. But now that these gentlemen are leaving the business, they're telling us that ACN, it's a good company, but it has many flaws. They were talking about how they were getting rid of, God, how do I explain this? Yeah, how do I explain this? Basically, there was going to be less money on the table for distributors. There were 7 levels of income that we were all meant to get paid on. Let's say I'm doing the business. I get John on my first level. He gets Mary on his first level, but my second level. Let's say I build the business 7 levels down. Before I could get paid on 7 levels of income, but now they were gonna destroy that and make sure that we could only get paid 5 levels of income. So let's say John first level, Mary second level, third level, fourth level, fifth level. And if you use the example of 3 people getting 3 people, getting 3 people, getting 3 people, there'll be more people on the 6th and 7th levels than the first 1 to 5 levels combined. Long story short, this means less money on the table for most of the people in the business that are not regional vice presidents and senior vice presidents who can be compensated on unlimited levels of your business. So that's one way that we were getting screwed over. Another way that we were getting screwed over was the removal of retail bonuses. So I told you in another video, let's say if I sold some Virgin Media packages or Verisure, I would get retail bonuses of 150, 250, you know, like hundreds of pounds. That would be removed. So the way that most people would actually be making money in the business, retail bonuses, that would be gone. Cabs would be slightly decreased depending on what level you are, what ranking you are. And also they were going to get rid of the 6th and 7th level. I'm not going to waste my time drawing it for you. But long story short, it was going to be a lot harder for people to make money in the business and to turn it into a business that, you know, would make them enough money that they could leave their job. And for some stupid reason, this had been planned for months, and yet these gentlemen decided to wait until roughly June 2020 to tell us this, so that they can leave the business and then they can tell us about this brand new business that they're starting, and they're going to try and recruit us into this new business called Nexarize. So you'll have all these people that used to be in ACN, now they're going to be in Nexarize, and they're going to try and recruit all the people that they had recruited directly or indirectly in the previous company and try and drag them along to this new company. And they were trying to make it so that everyone would keep their original uplines, of course, so that they can make money from these same people while the people at the bottom of the pyramid would bring new people so that they can rise up the ranks. Now, this pissed me off because why would I go and join a new company with the same uplines and I'd still be at the bottom of the pyramid because I had no team? So I'm like, why am I, what, like, there's no benefit to me here. There's no goddamn benefit. And then that's, and just a lot of self-reflection. And when I was trying my best to figure out how much money I had made versus how much money I had blown trying to build this business, I don't know, it was very depressing. It was like wanting to rip your hair out, depressing. And eventually I just sat there in my room, in my house, and just like, this ain't even worth it, fam. This ain't even worth it. I sacrificed a job, sacrificed professional and social relationships, all this stuff. And for what? To build somebody else's dream? BS. But it gets worse, because now they're trying to convince all these people that used to be in ACN to leave ACN. Well, they've successfully got a lot of the people to leave ACN and now join this new venture called Nexarize. And it's a startup company. Who knows if this company is going to do well? I mean, I got like 8 subscribers at the time of recording. Who's going to watch this video? A few people. So it won't cause much of a dent. But will this business even survive? Will it survive? Will they be able to make millions in this business? Who knows? Only time will tell. But they're trying to use the fact that a lot of people are vulnerable right now because of the pandemic, and they're gonna try and tell people, look, I understand how you feel. I was in the same position. Yeah. But with Nexarize, you can make money on the side and then eventually make it into a real like full-time business, and then you'll become a millionaire. And people are going to join because they don't want to be stuck in a position where they're at a job that they don't know if the job's going to be there next week or next year because of the lack of clarity that 2020 has brought into the world. 2020 vision, lack of clarity. People are going to be frustrated with their jobs, with their lives, with their lifestyles, personal lives. They're going to want to do something that will give them the illusion of a quick fix, and they're going to join this company and they're going to lose money and they're going to feel even more depressed and desperate. And then these new uplines are going to tell them, just work hard, read the books, book the meetings, and then they're going to be trapped in a never-ending cycle of depression and frickin' poverty. Like, it's not worth it. It's not bloody worth it. I'm going to put some links to other videos that talk about how Big Pyramid has bought off the major parties in America. So while there's 55 million people who've lost their jobs in America, there's going to be way more Americans joining MLM because the FTC, they're never going to ban MLMs because you've got the government and both parties, in fact, being bought off by Big Pyramid. you know, all these different pyramid scheme companies, MLM companies, and you've also got the FTC linked to people that used to work for MLMs and all this nonsense. Coffeezilla talks about it way better than me, so I'm gonna put a link to his video. There's a lady that whose channel is called the Anti-Bot. She talks about how you gotta use these 3 steps to get people out of at their MLM company. It was the sort of video that I was gonna make, but I didn't have time or give myself time, so I'm gonna put a link to that video as well. What's important to understand is I didn't make that much money. £246 in 14 months. That's not good. It's an expensive hobby, and a very expensive hobby. That's the amount of money I made in my 1 year and 2 months in my ACN business. And then these millionaire fools are going to tell me, Hugh, well, not me specifically, but guys, ACN, the compensation plan is terrible. They're going to make sure we make even less money. Join our new business. Why the fuck would I trust these people, man? You were endorsing the old company. You knew people were getting screwed over, but now you want to talk about how you're going to build a better company. The uplines that I used to have, the uplines that everybody used to have, all these regional vice presidents and regional directors that had lots of people in their team, but weren't making enough money or weren't making the amount of money that they thought they were going to make. All these ETLs, not that they're going to tell their people, oh, join this new company, join this new company, join this new company. They're going to try and use... It's a fucking multi-level marketing company. You can't build a successful multi-level marketing company without recruiting people. So they're going to recruit the people that were struggling to make money in ACN and say, that was ACN with this brand new startup company with no reputation. We're going to make even more money. How the fuck can you guarantee that? You can't without recruiting a lot of people. And it pisses me off. Okay, I'm done with that now. Talked about me leaving the business. Here's what not to do when you're trying to get somebody to leave their business, when you're trying to deprogram somebody from the MLM mindset. Number 1, do not try to stage an intervention with somebody that's been sucked into an MLM company and then try and insult them, shout at them, you know, talk shit about them and the business and the people in charge of the company. That is the worst thing you can possibly do. I had 2 interventions. One at work with some colleagues. They're like, oh, we know you do ACN because somebody snitched. And then they talk about how it's a pyramid. And then my managing director was like, oh, I used to do ACN. I lost lots of money. I'm like, damn, is everybody doing ACN? This guy was Pakistani. I'm Nigerian of origin. He was born in Pakistan, and then he was running the company that I used to work for. My actual job, not ACN, at that time. And he was like, I was in ACN years ago. I lost a lot of money. That was like, I was like, damn. But then me being an idiot, I'm thinking, well, that was him. I'm going to make lots of money in ACN. Bitch, please. And he actually became my customer for like an energy service. And there was one more intervention. The first one, that was like 2 people that I had hung out with, you know, in my old life. One of them was like all shouty wouty, talking shit. I told him, look, I'm doing this so that my mom don't die poor. He goes fucking ballistic. I'm like, okay, mate, well, how the fuck do you think that is going to help me leave this business? I had just joined the business only a few weeks or for like maybe a month being in the business. I'm out here trying to present the business myself because every time an upline would do it, the person would leave, say I'm never joining this business, it's a bullshit business. The people that would help me present the business, like, they would fuck it up, or even if they didn't fuck it up, they would piss off the people that they would present to. So I'm thinking, all you're doing is pissing off my friends. Let me do this. I tried to have a presentation with an upline and a former music teacher, and then one of my friends from university, we did a presentation with her, and both these people got pissed off. And I'm like, why is everybody that we're trying to show this business to getting pissed off? Maybe it's these people that I just met, like, because I only knew the person that introduced me to the business. I didn't know any of these new uplines that I had. All they were doing was pissing off my friends, and then they look to me and they go, well, it's your inexperience. It's your fault that they haven't joined the business. And I'm just like, what the fuck is this? I'm trying to make my money, man. What the fuck? Let me fucking introduce the business to these people. But when that happened, people were still pissed off. I couldn't see the fucking connections. So I'm thinking these two fools that are doing an intervention with me, they looking at me like I'm a piece of shit. One of them's the good cop, one of them's the bad cop. The bad cop's talking shit, shouting, swearing. The other one's coming at it with the facts, with the John Oliver video, with talking about how it's a pyramid scheme, looking at me like I'm some pathetic little, like you know when people try and you know when people feel sorry for you and the tonality of their voice and their body language and the way they look at you is like they just feel sorry for you, like they like that's not gonna help you get somebody out of an MLM if you're looking at somebody like they're a victim. And if you talk aggressive with somebody and you know they're not trying to harm nobody, you trying to be aggressive with somebody, talk shit, swear at them, how the hell do you think that's going to get them out of business? You're pushing them towards the MLM business so that they're going to think, well, I was going to do it so that I won't have any debt and I want to do it for my parents. Now I'm going to prove the haters wrong because all you're doing is hating. How the fuck is that going to help? You're alienating yourself from this person that's being sucked into a pyramid scheme. Your ass is making it worse because now you're adding fuel to the fire. That's the one thing you shouldn't do. Number one, do not be aggressive or argumentative or create BS interventions with people. At least the intervention at work was not aggressive or argumentative, but the smaller one with the two friends were. Number two, number two of what you shouldn't do. Do not, under any circumstances, spread rumors about the person that has joined the multi-level marketing business. Because I don't think this didn't really happen to me much, but it happened to a lot of people that were in the business. People would spread rumors about him. Oh, he's in a cult, he's in a pyramid. All you're doing is alienating this person who's just joined this business, where you're alienating them from their friends, their family, their colleagues, girlfriend, boyfriend. You're making it worse for them. You're thinking, I'm saving everybody from joining this pyramid scheme. Yeah. But no, what you're actually doing on top of that is you're making it easier for this person's new upline / business partners to go and say, you see, we were right. There are haters out there. They're your friends, some of your friends and family, they don't want you to succeed. That's why you should go to every event. That's why you should read every book. That's why you should talk to everybody you know before That's why you should talk to everybody you know. But before it's too late, you've got to tell them about your business, but you've got to put us in front of them, your uplines in front of them, so that we can present the business. Edify us as mentors, edify us as successful representatives, as successful business people. That's what they would do. Because they're not going to believe that you're successful in the business because you just started it. So you have to get somebody else involved, pretend basically that they're fucking financially successful so that they can present the business to your friend, your colleague, your family member. And then they can talk about how wonderful the business is, why you should join, blah, 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 blah. So when you're spreading rumors about somebody that's just joined an MLM business, what you're doing is alienating that person from all their friends, all their family, all their colleagues, to the point where, yes, they can't be recruited. But now that person in the MLM business, the only friends they're going to have are the people in the MLM company. The only contacts, the only shoulders to cry on that they have will be people in the MLM company. They're going to be further pushed towards being fully brainwashed and fully acclimatized and fully programmed into the MLM company mindset, and they will never flipping leave if all you're doing is pushing these people away by spreading rumors about them. That's number two of what you don't do. Number three of what you don't do when it comes to getting somebody to leave an MLM, you do not consistently talk shit about the MLM company to them. I know what you're thinking. Hugh, it's a terrible business model. No. But what you're doing is you're just aggravating the person. Don't be coming up with reasons as to why you should leave based on how shit you think the company is or how shit the company actually is. Instead, you should ask them questions about why they actually joined the business. Try and figure out what underlying issue these people are facing, but they're not willing to verbalize or admit to themselves. It could be poverty. It could be financial strain. It could be mental strain. It could be depression. It could be, lack of support. It could be, I don't know, sexual frustration. A lot of people join these network marketing companies. They come on the weekend. They see some cute girls. One upline tell them, look at all these pretty girls. And then they're like, yeah, I'll join the business. Especially these youngins, these 18, 19, 20-year-old boys that join these business. They come to make money. They stay so that they can check out the pretty girls. I know how it is. I've seen some of these people. Yeah, sexual frustration. Some girls could be brought into the business by a cute guy. Some guys could be brought into the business by a cute girl. And they get suckered in. They flirt. They ask them out on a date, and then okay, they go on the date, and then it turns out to be a fucking. It turns out to be a fucking business overview meeting, selling and pitching the business opportunity of ACN or a similar company. I remember my senior vice president, Mr. Taproot, when he would basically, at the end of a business overview meeting, when we're pitching the opportunity to people, he basically admits that, oh yeah, I once brought somebody to a business overview meeting by asking them out on a date. And I'm like, bruh, fuck. That's savage. Why would you say that at the end of the business overview meeting? Because he'd always make this joke. Every time he would close, he would do the close for a business overview meeting because it was steps. And the last step would be the close. Every time we do the close for the business overview meeting, this man, Mr. Taproot, he'd be talking about how, oh yeah, I hope you came here for a business meeting and not on a date, blah, blah, blah. He'd make the same joke. And one time he just admitted that that's why he would make that joke, because he actually did that. He asked somebody out, brought him to a BOM, a business overview meeting, and and the lady didn't know it was a business overview meeting. She thought she was going on a date. Imagine that. You see how scrupulous, how ruthless these people can be, fam. You don't want to be doing business with people like that because it tarnishes your reputation. So those are just three of the many things that you shouldn't do when you're trying to get people to leave an MLM company. I'm going to put a link in the description below of a lady that perfectly talks about what you should do to get somebody out of an MLM company. She says that they're not foolproof, but they may work. I'm going to put that link there. Don't join ACN. Don't join Nexarize. Don't join any of these other companies. Here are some things you could do instead in this economically turbulent time. You can start an e-commerce store. You can learn some new skills that might make you more employable, like coding, blockchain developing. You can learn day trading, forex trading. You can do not join iMastery Life, please, but learn how to day trade, perhaps. Create digital products and services and sell them online. Create digital courses or just online courses. Sell them on Coursera or Udemy or something. Anything but MLM. Start a Shopify store. I already mentioned e-commerce, drop shipping, Amazon FBA. What else? Just anything. Just learn. Start a small business. Just do anything but join MLM, please. Please. You're going to hear of Nexarize if you're living in the UK or Scandinavia or India, Bangladesh, Pakistan, Australia, Romania. You're going to hear about it. Don't join these companies, please. Please do not join these frickin' companies. If you're watching this and you already hate MLM, or if you know somebody that's in one of these companies, share the video, like it, comment below. Hell, even if you think I'm full of BS, comment below. I don't care. It still increases the activity and it will just be shared The video will be shared across YouTube to more people. Subscribe to my channel, tap the bell, get the notifications, get some sleep, people. Good night, good morning, God bless.